Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com. By FeatherSnap, the smart bird feeder with a high-resolution camera and species identification software aimed to educate and spread joy to every level of avian enthusiast. Learn more at feathersnapcam.com.
And by Vortex Optics, with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening, and welcome to our show number 1004, in which we'll visit with our Debbie Bleacher in the Talking Bird Science Corner to learn about how cities are vibrant while city birds might not be. And speaking of cities, we'll hear from a listener in Atlanta giving some props to his backyard birds for helping him in his recovery from surgery last spring. And also speaking of cities, we'll report on some exciting new developments in the fast-growing world of clean transportation that will benefit air quality in cities and everywhere else. Now here's that audio postcard.
Hey Ray, this is Wink Weinberg in Atlanta, Georgia, finding that there's a silver lining to everything. I am home with a lot of downtime, recovering from surgery, and reacquainting myself with the birds on the home property. I'm sitting now below our phoebe nest, and we also have brown-headed nuthatches nesting here this year, and a Carolina wren. And I'm listening to the pine warbler and the house finches and the northern cardinal. And they are all wishing me a speedy recovery. Have a great spring migration. See ya. Bye.
All right, take care, Wink. That was Wink's postcard from back in the spring. And we were in touch with Wink this week, and I'm happy to report that he told us he is now doing great. Well, folks, if you're looking at birds in your backyard or at a favorite birding spot or on a trip somewhere, we'd love to hear about it in the form of an audio postcard. To make one, just grab your smartphone or borrow one and record a description of what you're seeing. Maybe 30 seconds to a minute's worth, or longer if you like. Then send the resulting file to ray@talkingbirds.com. That's Ray at talkingbirds.com. No G in talkin'. As we do our show live, it's the 22nd of September, the first day of fall. Birds are flocking, and our friend Dr. Charles Clarkson from Audubon, Rhode Island, reminds us that about 70% of bird species are migratory, and 80% of those migrate at night. As countless numbers of birds pass overhead as we sleep, many of the birds will be drawn off course by bright lights scattered across the landscape below them, leading to fatigue and increasing risks of collisions with buildings. About 1 billion birds die every year in North America from window collisions, and of course millions of billions more around the world. Dr. Clarkson lists 3 pretty simple things we can do to help reduce the numbers of these senseless fatalities. Here are those 3 things. 1, turn off all outdoor lighting during overnight hours, say 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. 2, reduce the amount of light emanating from inside your home by closing blinds and shutters. And 3, if you must use outdoor lighting, switch to using full cutoff light fixtures, the kind where the light is projected downward and outward instead of up into the sky. And if possible, use warm-colored light sources, red or orange, that have a shorter reach and are less disturbing to wildlife. So those 3 things again, just quickly. 1, turn off all outdoor lighting overnight. 2, reduce the amount of light from your home, inside your home. And 3, if you must use outdoor lighting, get those lights that project downward instead of up into the sky. Here's another thing about flocking. It's high time that we gave another shout-out to our Talkin' Birds flock. It's the Facebook group for Talkin' Birds listeners and a great place to view and or share pictures, videos, observations about birds and related topics. Right now in the flock, you'll see videos and photos of great egrets and snowy plovers, along with a link to a film about raptor rehab and a whole lot more. You can observe the flock or join it. Just go to facebook.com and type in Talkin' Birds Flock in the search bar. Facebook.com, Talkin' Birds Flock. What's this bird? There's a clue. It's our mystery bird. This is a preview of the contest that we'll do later. We play a little bit here early in the show, so you'll be ready to call in when we do the actual contest. Our plan there is to have folks call in before the show ends, which doesn't always work, but we're working on it. Our mystery bird is a little smaller than an American robin, about 9 inches in length. Its back is entirely black. Its sides are black and white. Its throat, chest, and belly are white. Its face is black with white and black mustache stripes, and the male has a yellow cap. Our three-toed bird is a resident species in northern coniferous forests from Newfoundland to Alaska in parts of the northern U.S. It's known for following outbreaks of wood-boring beetles in recently burned habitats, where it uncovers insect and larvae prey by chiseling away flakes of bark, especially on charred trees. That's the clue, or those are the clues, and the sound of the mystery bird, and beautiful prizes here, including the Brome Squirrel Solution 150 feeder. That phrase, squirrel solution, is a beautiful thing. It's genuinely squirrel-proof and chew-proof, easy to clean, and even has a vented seed tray to keep the seed fresh and dry, which is kind of important. And we have a 1-year subscription to BWD magazine, founded in 1978 as Birdwatcher's Digest, and back and better than ever. On a mystery bird contest coming along just a little bit later. Here's a salute now to another Talkin' Birds ambassador. Who are Talkin' Birds ambassadors? If you're new to the show, well, they're folks who help us spread the word about birds and conservation, and we want to say thank you to Matt Scott from Albany, Minnesota, who we learned is celebrating his birthday this weekend. Not sure if it was yesterday or today, but in any case, happy birthday, Matt. And many thanks for becoming a Talkin' Birds ambassador. We consider ourselves very fortunate around here to have so many Talkin' Birds listeners joining our ambassadors family, 904 of them at our latest count. Ambassadors who let us send them short stacks of our little Talkin' Birds info cards, and they then, at their convenience, hand them out to friends and neighbors and coworkers, thereby spreading the word about our show and about what we're trying to promote, the joys of birding and the vital importance of conservation in the face of the innumerable threats to the health of our planet and all who call it home. But if I can't convince you to become an ambassador, then listen to a teacher.
My name is Melissa Hodges, and I'm calling in from Mobile, Alabama. As a first grade teacher, I love spreading the joy of bird knowledge to my students, and they can then, in turn, spread them to all of their friends. I encourage everyone listening to become a Talkin' Birds ambassador, even the littlest of listeners out there.
Thank you so much, Melissa. We always believe teachers for sure. We do have some little young ambassadors as well, so all ages, welcome. Easy to sign up. Just go to the tab at the top of our homepage, which is labeled Get Involved, and you'll see how easy it is to sign up and to be an ambassador. Well, speaking of conservation efforts, here are a bunch of good news stories about clean energy and clean transportation. In Texas, a company called Octopus Energy and the American electric vehicle maker Rivian have announced a joint program that lets Rivian owners sign up for clean electricity for their cars and homes. All of Octopus Energy's electricity comes from renewable sources like solar panels and wind turbines, so their customers are getting 100% green energy to power their homes and their Rivian EVs. Meanwhile, in Georgia, guess who has debuted their much-anticipated electric vehicle fleet. Here's a hint.
You've got mail.
Yes, it's the United States Postal Service, which has put electric trucks into operation in Athens, Georgia, replacing their 30-year-old noisy, smelly 9 miles per gallon vehicles that lack many safety features, like ample room for drivers to stand. Well, that's a comfort feature, and air conditioning, a real comfort feature. The new EV trucks are quieter, more spacious, loaded with safety features and air conditioning. One driver had to say this about the cool air, quote, "I promise you it felt like heaven blowing in my face," end quote. These EVs are only in Georgia for now, but keep an eye out for them where you are. They'll be rolled out across the country over the next few years. Meanwhile, a headline from China. Most car sales in China are now plug-ins, 51%, and that's up 33% from last year. And that's while the overall car sales market there is down 3%. Meanwhile, in Norway, get this, there are now more electric cars on the road in Norway than gasoline cars. For the most recent month in which numbers are available, 91% of new cars sold in Norway, where it gets pretty cold, were EVs. Meanwhile, does anybody remember... Well, as Jan and Dean sang it back in the 60s, the little old lady from Pasadena drove a brand new shiny red superstock Dodge, and she was the terror of Colorado Boulevard. Well, if she were cruising around the city of South Pasadena today, guess what the local police would be chasing her down with? The answer, electric-powered police cars. South Pasadena's police department has become the first in the nation to convert all their fleet to electric cars, employing 10 Tesla Model Ys as patrol vehicles and 10 Tesla Model 3s for detective and administrative duties. The police chief there says the EVs will save the department about $4,000 a year per vehicle on energy costs, and that their operational cost is projected to be about half the per-mile cost of gasoline-powered vehicles. The chief says the zero-emission fleet will not only save the city funds, but that they are the safest, including bullet-resistant panels, and best-performing vehicles available. All of them have 5-star safety ratings, better, says the chief, than any gas vehicle available for policing. One more clean transportation thing, also from California. It's the new Driving Clean Assistance Program, DCAP, which helps California residents who meet income requirements buy or lease a new or used electric, hybrid, or even hydrogen fuel cell vehicle at dramatically reduced cost, aided by the federal $7,500 EV rebate made possible by the Inflation Reduction Act. For example, qualified buyers can purchase a brand new Tesla Model Y that lists for $42,990 for a total out-of-pocket cost of $23,490, and get another $2,000 on top of that to help with charging, which, by the way, is much cheaper than using gasoline. So way to go, Golden State. So a bunch of good news about clean energy and clean transportation, all in the service of the fight against climate change, which many scientists around the world now cite as the number one threat to the survival of birds. Still to come today, we'll pay a visit to the Talking Birds Science Corner on a topic related to what we just talked about there, how birds adapt to higher pollution levels in cities. Also, our Mike O'Connor will join us for a live Let's Ask Mike segment, talking about more myths in the world of birding. There's still a lot of them out there, despite his best efforts, so he'll try to explode a couple more myths on Let's Ask Mike live today. And up next, a bird we might describe as extremely camera shy is today's Talking Birds featured feathered friend. We've talked a couple of times recently about goshawks, with a goshawk mystery bird a few weeks ago, and then through a mystery bird contest goshawk bonus question soon after. And we're at it again today with a Far East goshawk species, the New Britain goshawk, as today's featured feathered friend. This bird made news this month when a story broke that a photograph of it was taken in March on the island of New Britain in Papua New Guinea, the only place in the world where it's found. What's extraordinary about this is that according to the World Wildlife Fund, this was the first time the bird had ever been photographed. A previous record of the bird's existence was noted back in 1969, but with no photo involved. The picture was taken by Fiji-based photographer Tom Virus on a WWF-sponsored trip to the island, and it shows a large raptor that's slate gray above and pale gray below, with darker gray wings, an orange patch behind its heavy bill, and orange legs. Its natural habitats are moist mountainous forest areas like the Nakanai Mountains on the island, where the photo was captured. This newly photographed species is described as globally vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature due to deforestation and loss of habitat on New Britain Island. The World Wildlife Fund is actively seeking partners for community-based conservation in the area, and the government of Papua New Guinea is in the process of revising its national biodiversity strategy and action plan. That plan is expected to be presented at a UN Convention on Biological Diversity meeting that will take place next month in Colombia, South America. Today's featured feathered friend and first-time ever photo subject, Tachyspiza princeps, the New Britain goshawk. Welcome again to our show, number 1004. We're about to enter the Talking Birds Science Corner.
Come up to the lab and see what's on the slab.
Good morning, Debbie.
Good morning, Ray.
So the New York Times has a story headlined, "The Big City is Vibrant. Birds there might be getting less so." What's going on?
Well, the article mentions research in China, plus a survey of 59 other studies of bird color all over the world that all say the same thing, that urban birds are less colorful than rural ones, and it's not just because they're dirtier. It's actually for two reasons, and I'll give them to you one at a time.
Okay, reason number one?
Reason number one, darker birds in cities have a survival advantage because their feathers contain a lot of a pigment called melanin.
The same substance that darkens human skin and eyes.
Yes. The melanin in feathers binds to lead and other heavy metals, for instance, the ones that show up in polluted air. So the more melanin in the feathers, the fewer pollutants reach the bird's skin. This means that darker birds stay healthy longer than their lighter relatives.
Seems to make sense. So they reproduce more, so we get more birds with darker feathers.
Right.
So reason number two why rural birds are more colorful than urban birds.
This one's not about feather darkness, but feather dullness. Studies show that red, orange, and yellow feathers just aren't as bright in the city. These colors depend on pigments called beta-carotenoids, and birds can only get those from what they eat.
Kind of the way our skin turns orangey if we eat too many carrots?
Exactly. We turn orange because of beta-carotenoids in the vegetables. For birds, what matters is that city trees make fewer beta-carotenoids than rural trees. This means the insects eating those leaves contain fewer beta-carotenoids, and that means birds become deficient in beta-carotenoids from eating those insects. In fact, studies show that if you bring a bright country bird into the city, the red, orange, and yellow feathers will grow in duller, and city birds brought to the country get brighter.
So what's the significance of this research?
I don't have a specific answer to that yet, since the connection between a bird's color and its health seems pretty complex. But the fact that there is a connection between bird color and health allows us to tell pretty quickly whether a bird is thriving in its habitat.
fascinating, as always, here in the Science Corner. Thank you, Debbie.
Oh, my pleasure, Ray.
That's our Science Corner visit, and a special thanks to Dr. Jim Randolph for alerting us first to that study. Up next here, it's our Mystery Bird Contest in just 1 minute. The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com. Here's that mystery bird. There's the other part. This is our Mystery Bird Contest now underway. Call us as soon as you can. By the way, we have a clarification on eligibility. If you haven't won within 6 months here on Talking Birds, then you are eligible to win the contest. And here is the all-important number, 781-837-4900. We'll give the number again in a moment. Clues now. Our mystery bird, a little smaller than an American robin, about 9 inches in length. Its back is entirely black. Its sides are black and white. Its throat, chest, and belly are white. Face is black with white and black mustache stripes. The male has a yellow cap. Our three-toed bird is a resident species in northern coniferous forests from Newfoundland to Alaska and parts of the northern U.S. It's known for following outbreaks of wood-boring beetles in recently burned habitats, where it uncovers insect and larvae prey by chiseling away flakes of bark, especially on charred trees. Clues there, and prizes include that wonderful Brome Squirrel Solution 150 feeder and a year's subscription to the new and wonderful birding magazine BWD, formerly known as Birdwatchers Digest. 781-837-4900, the number to call. And so give us a call now. Meanwhile, we're going to check in live with Mike O'Connor. Let's ask Mike live in just 1 minute.
Ready to take your backyard bird watching to the next level? FeatherSnap makes Wi-Fi-enabled smart bird feeders that blend the best of technology and nature. Get a high-def glimpse of your feathered friends with a top-of-the-line camera so every visitor can be seen with clarity and detail. A unique dual feeder bin helps attract more species, and built-in solar panels keep your camera's battery going strong. FeatherSnap's mobile app creates a truly immersive experience, allowing you to collect and organize your favorite pics and videos and earn badges along the way. FeatherSnap is a convenient and fun way to capture powerful images of your local birds and help get your friends and family excited about bird watching. Best of all, FeatherSnap offers expert-trained AI identification of more than 275 North American species, thanks to their in-house ornithologist. Check them out today at feathersnapcam.com. feathersnapcam.com.
All right. Are we hearing our music? I've just switched headphones here, and that was a terrible mistake. I'm going to go back to this other set of headphones. That's so much better. But tolerating all of this, we hope, is Mike O'Connor down there at the famous Birdwatchers General Store on Cape Cod in Massachusetts. Hello, Mike.
Well, what a rookie. I can't believe it. What a rookie out there.
Hey, give us a chance. We're just getting started, and, we're going to make a few mistakes along the way. So
You'll get that. You'll get it.
I appreciate your patience on that. Well, Mike, you've exploded a number of myths about birds here in the show. I don't remember what any of them are, but I know you did that somewhere along.
Yeah, we're going to do it again.
So you have some new myths concerning hummingbirds and also rice. Am I right?
it's all going on. Yeah, and first I want to give a shout-out to Gene and her friends from Wisconsin who came in, stopped in, big Talking Birds listeners, and they came in the big bird store in Cape Cod and loved the show, and they came in and chatted with us, and they did some birding, and so shout out to those guys. Thanks for stopping by. Ray, they hear you in Wisconsin. Can you believe it?
That is nice, and that's a long way from where we are, so I don't know how that works, but it's amazing.
It must come in the mail or something.
So myths.
So anyway, this is the time of year, big migration going on that you just mentioned earlier. Birds are migrating now, and a lot of people worry. And this won't go away, this will never stop, that if you leave your hummingbird feeders out, the birds won't migrate. And that has to stop because the birds are going to migrate no matter what. They're just going to pass through. So you can leave your hummingbird feeders out as long as you want to maintain them, and that's fine. And a bird will stop and drink and continue on. Occasionally, a lost bird will hang around and use it for survival, but that just keeps the bird alive. It doesn't prevent it from migrating. That bird is mixed up to begin with. So that's just one myth that we talk about every year, but that's fine. Another one that I kind of forgot about because my anniversary is coming up, and my wedding anniversary, and people used to throw rice at weddings, and then this myth started. This was years before the internet, when once a mistruth occurred, it got passed on, and there was no way of fact-checking it, and that was throwing rice at weddings. And because rice expands when it's cooked, they thought birds would eat it, and then it'd explode because all this rice would expand in their stomachs. And it became such a thing that the state of Connecticut tried to ban throwing rice at weddings over concerns of the birds. Their heart was in the right place, but their facts are just stupid because birds have been eating rice forever. Bobolinks, especially down south, they eat rice all the time. It gets ground up in the gizzard. It doesn't explode, and you can throw rice at weddings if you'd like to. But there's alternatives. If you don't want to throw rice anymore, people throw confetti, which is stupid because it's just trash. Bubbles, they recommend bubbles, but that just blows the wrong way. I tell people throw bird seed at weddings. That's a perfect idea. The birds, you throw it, it annoys the wedding couples, and then the birds come and clean it up as soon as everybody leaves. And if you come by my store and you're getting married, I'll give you a free bird seed to throw at your own wedding. So there you go. Wow. That's an exciting.
Such a deal. Myths exploded and practical advice given. Once again, Mike, thank you so much, and we will talk to you next week.
Woohoo! Okay. See you. Bye.
All right, we march on here to the Mystery Bird contest. Let's see if we can get this right here this morning. I hear the bird. We'll listen a little bit more to it. There it is. And we'll go to Kevin. We have Kevin in Situate, Massachusetts. I think we have Kevin there. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
Good morning. Kevin, you heard the clues maybe and possibly the sound of the bird there. And if you did, and maybe you could give us your answer or your guess as to what that bird is.
I think it's a black-backed woodpecker.
You think it's a black-backed woodpecker? Everyone's nodding here. You are absolutely right. Nice job. Whoa. Black-backed woodpecker. Here's a good way to find this bird. Look for orange spots on black tree trunks. We had some around here a couple of years ago, one of them that caused a big hullabaloo, in fact. So they removed that charred bark, and you can see the orange cambium underneath. A good way to figure out these birds are around. The black-backed woodpecker, also known as the Arctic three-toed woodpecker. Kevin, stay on the line, and we'll get your info and send you some nice prizes there.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, correctly identifying the black-backed woodpecker. And with that, we are out of time. Thank you so much for being with us, and we'll see you next week.
The bird show. I like that. I love it.
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com. By Feathersnap, the smart bird feeder with a high-resolution camera and species identification software aimed to educate and spread joy to every level of avian enthusiast. Learn more at feathersnapcam.com.
And by Vortex Optics, with the VIP warranty, their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com.